Oh my god, yes. Oh, she has created the page. Like small things like this just adds a bit of sense of professionalism to it. Alright, hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to ArchiHacks, and today we have another very interesting video. So today we're gonna hire 3 Fiverr artists to create a portfolio for me. In case you guys missed it, a couple weeks ago we hired 3 Fiverr artists to create a visualization of a futuristic interior. So we figured, let's try another one, this time with portfolio. Now, portfolio is an interesting thing. Although it's like not very related to architectural design itself, a lot of people find it very personal. So if you don't think one should hire Fiverr artists to design portfolio, then just kind of take this as an entertainment purpose, maybe inspirational, and maybe as a side note that you can get someone to design a publication work. And for those who are looking to just kind of get started and get a starting point for your portfolio, Fiverr can be a good place to find them. So now that being said, I need to let you know that this video is sponsored by Fiverr, and we have a 10% discount link for first time purchase. That being said, let's dive into the video and see what they can offer us. Okay, so here's what we prepared for the artists so that they can easily create the designs. So what we did is basically we took the projects that we want to include in the portfolio, and inside each folder are a bunch of images and a text document that includes a project description. And rest of it, we kind of left it open to suggestions from the Fiverr artists. And most of them provides us with a InDesign files that we can edit. And there's one artist who created the layout in Canva, so that was pretty interesting as well. So let's take a look. Now, our approach to Fiverr was that we wanted to find 3 artists in different tiers. Number 1 is the most affordable and new artists, and then the mid-tier who has like a balance between rating and proof of work as well as affordability. And the last one, we wanted to go all out, find the most extravagant portfolio designer that we can find and see what they can offer us. So the first designer that we found is TR Bling. And he or she has 5 ratings totaling up to 4.9 rating, and the basic package is only $25. So we thought that sounds like a great value for the amount that we're paying, so we wanted to take a look at what he or she could do for us. And one thing we noticed is that she or he uses Canva to design the layout and PowerPoint too. So this could be either really good or really bad, but we wanted to take the leap of faith and see what they can offer us. Maybe they'll change my mind about using InDesign for everything, so looking forward to that. Next up on our list is MS Blancog, and we chose her as a mid-tier portfolio artist because she has decent amount of rating, 60 ratings, and it averages up to 5 stars. And we felt pretty confident about this artist, and her standard package was around $120. And we thought that was pretty decent for the quality and track record that she has, so we wanted to go for this artist. And last but not least, the most expensive gig that we found is with Studio Milk. The reason we wanted to go with this studio is because they are rated as top rated seller. And you can only get this if you have completed 100 orders and with a minimum of 4.7 rating. So that's a pretty high standard to hit, and we felt pretty confident about hiring this person despite the really expensive fee that they're charging. So that being said, I'm curious to see what they will offer. One thing I do need to mention is that Studio Milk does not specialize in architectural portfolio, but they do all kinds of publication work. So maybe we could use the kind of input from another industry and maybe a fresh set of layout techniques that we might want to learn from. So let's try this person out and see how that goes. Alright, so here's our first work from the first artist. So this is from TR Bling, and as we mentioned before, he or she charged us $25 for this job, and it's created in Canva. So I'm looking forward to what they can offer. So first off, we have the cover page. It took me a little while to understand what's going on, but I realized this is a giant P in the middle, and then I think a part of it that threw me off is like that there's this line going on here, which is like the same line weight as all the other fonts. So I'm like, is this supposed to be a text or is this a layout element? Not sure what's going on, but cool, it's fun, it's exciting, it shows a character, so we can go over that later. Okay, next up on our list is table of contents. Really glad that Tier Bling added this, but I do have a couple of things I want to point out. First thing is that manifesto project. I think I clearly labeled that the project is called Milestone in the folders. And yeah, there's something going on with all these things. I think he or she really didn't follow the instructions that we have given. And yeah, really didn't have to add these project lettering at the end of each of these. So that's that. And the other thing is, as you probably noticed already, that a lot of the letters are not capitalized. I mean, they're capitalized sometimes and they're not sometimes. Like, what is this? Like, can we please just choose one type of capitalization pattern and stick with it? How come some of them are all caps and some of them are all lowercase? This is a bit of a mess. Okay, next up on our list is the first page for the first project. Honestly, I have really no problem with it. Really straightforward, simple, straightforward. If I had to be somewhat nitpicky, I did notice that the center of the layout is a little bit off. Like, is this just an optical illusion or is this actually the case? Maybe it's an optical illusion, I might be going crazy, but that seems to be the case in terms of visuals, but I have no problem with that other than that. Next up on our list is continued, more about the information about the project. And yeah, quite questionable, honestly. Let's kind of dissect this. So first off, we had this title page with a project number, project title, and the description. But why are we stating this again on this page? So this is a big question mark for me. I don't know why we had to state that again. And if I were to do this, I think I might want to break up the text into 2 paragraphs like so that it's a little easier to read. And maybe the spacing, so clearly these 2 diagrams are related, so I think they have to be closer, and the spacing is a little too close even though these guys are not related. So there's some funky stuff going on here. So let's go to the next page, and again there's yeah, really this really obsession about the title being repeated in every page. Would have been really nice if we had broken up some text and put them in here instead. But I do need to appreciate that Tier Bling inverted the colors here and turned the line works into a white on dark background. And honestly, I kind of enjoy it, so points for that one. Okay, next up on our list is the second project, and yeah, the title is wrong. And this huge chunk of text is really hard to read. And the page after that has 0 text, so I'm really puzzled about what's going on here. I think it would have been nice if we found some excerpts that kind of actually match up with the images that are on the page. And yeah, the title has been repeated here again. Almost feels like we're entering a new project, but you realize, oh my god, like this person is tripping me up every time. You think you're looking at a new project, but you're not. So it's very misleading. And yeah, I think we see that every page. All of these, honestly, are like decent title pages. Like this one could be a beginning of a project. This page could be a beginning of a project. Like they're really good and powerful. I think I need to give points for that. But I think storytelling is all about having accents and having the ups and downs. So I think we could be improved on that front. Yeah, and again, I like the way Tier Bling inverted some of the colors and put them into its own section like this. It kind of adds like a bit of interesting twist to everything, so appreciate that. And next up is a legacy project. I think I'll just kind of skip through this because I'm gonna see repetition on most things, I think. So what I thought was interesting is that Tier Bling went ahead and color corrected this image. It used to have like a green vegetation. It's interesting that Tier Bling added his or her own creative flavor to this portfolio. So, you know, I don't mind like people adding more stuff, so I'm pretty neutral about this one. And yeah, next up, rest of it is quite straightforward. Many of the line works have been converted into a black and white image. Really have no problem with that. I actually really enjoy that, so thanks. That's really good. But yeah, I think these are the moments where I feel like you can really tell between someone who is spending a lot of time on creating an image versus maybe just putting things together. Some of the text is like center justified and some of them are left justified. And I feel like there's almost no regards to what's going on between the text and image. It just looks like the text has been slapped on the image. And yeah, it's not really comfortable to read. Really could be better in that sense. And this is the end of the portfolio. 18 pages, you know, $25, 18 pages, not bad. And you know, I gotta give her the points for that. And the fact that this person is using Canva is pretty interesting. I am not overly impressed by what Canva can produce, but it could just be the artist, or maybe it is a limitation. Maybe the artist is a really good artist and the platform has its limits. But let's move on to the next one. I have high hopes for this artist. Okay, next up on our list is MS Blanco. She offered us $140 for this job, and she specifically works with InDesign for architecture and other portfolio job. So let's take a look. And she had a lot of positive reviews, so I'm looking forward to what she can do for us. And right off the bat, the portfolio cover page is looking great. I'm a big fan of like minimalistic design for the cover page. Only has the essential information. And I like the way she added this like dark overlay over the background image. And I think she also added a bit of grain and texture on top of it to just bring out some more flavor. So I think that's quite interesting. And next up on our list is again, I didn't fill in any of the private information because I knew this will be in the video. But she provided us with InDesign files so we can edit that. And on the table of contents, yeah, this is a really great example of table of contents. Just straightforward, nothing too much. Just gives you a quick preview of how many projects are in there, how long is our portfolio, and honestly all we need. And yeah, I need to appreciate like the the finesse that went into like different typography that's going into the title versus the page number. So I think we can already tell that the value that you gain from going with a slightly more expensive gigs. And here's the first project, Maelstrom, and she actually got the title correct. Really appreciate that. I mean, I feel like this was a really great exercise because it gives me appreciation for all the little small things that I have never even thought about before. Okay, so yeah, I think it's really interesting that she has these page numbers that are on the sides like so. And yeah, the font size looks appropriate, and yeah, this is great. It's a big contrast between the section title, body text, and descriptive text next to them. So it's a clear hierarchy between all the images that you should be talking about that we want the readers to go through. And great, that was it for the first project. And second project, yeah, and again, I like the way like she is putting attention into these little things. Like she has broken up the big chunks of text into multiple paragraphs, so it's a little easier to read. So that's really good. And yeah, again, like, small things like not repeating the title on every single page. Isn't this just so much nicer to read? And yeah, I like the way she has laid out all these sequences. I think she clearly has an understanding of architectural progression. And yeah. Okay, great. Next up on our list, 1000 Lee. And yeah, the layouts are in general very clean and straightforward. I like the way she has organized the images into a single section on the left here, and all the line works on the right side, like so. And the layout is pretty clear and pleasant to read. It's very light read, so I think I really appreciate that. And yeah, so you know what they say about design. You only realize bad designs because good designs are almost hard to recognize. And I think that is really the case with MS Blanco's work. It just looks like just so comfortable to read. I have nothing really to point out, and that's exactly what the designer and portfolio layout should be doing. So that's awesome. One thing I noticed is that she has broken up these legends from the bottom of the image. It used to be like right down over here, but yeah, that made the image super big. So I like the way she has compacted the illustrations and diagrams. So that's really good. Although I do want to wonder like what it would look like had we put this down here maybe, because I feel like the end of the scale bar is getting a little too close to the building over here. So maybe having it down here could have been nice. And it's just kind of unconventional to have the legends on the top side. So just a suggestion, food for thought. I don't know what that will look like, so just putting it out there. Okay, and that's pretty much it. Oh my god, yes. She has created the end cover page. Like small things like this adds to impression. Like It makes me feel like someone is putting the rigor into the work. So really appreciate that. Yeah, guys, cute end cover. Even if you're not printing it, just adds a bit of sense of professionalism to it. And there's a context. If someone is like totally impressed with your work and wants to reach out, the information will be right there. So do it, guys. Just do it.
Just do it!
Okay, great. That was extremely impressive. $140. I think that was really worth it, honestly. That would have saved me a lot of time. And MS Blanco also took the least amount of time too. I think her turnaround time was only like 3 to 4 days. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And let's go with the last but not least iteration of our portfolio. Okay, so as mentioned earlier, Studio Milk is charging us $290 for this portfolio work. And it's really interesting because Studio Milk is not only architectural portfolio designer, but also just a general publication designer. So there could be some things that we don't expect in this portfolio. And this job took a total of 2 weeks. So it's interesting how the first cover page is a table of contents at the same time. I see this as like a sort of a new trend with the newer portfolios, and I actually kind of enjoy it. In digital portfolios, like, yeah, why not just have it in the front? You know, it doesn't really matter. And actually adds a lot of visual elements to the cover page that's otherwise a little bit boring. Let's move on to the next one. Yeah, there's something really interesting about this layout. We don't typically break the grid, and I think that's going to be a common pattern that we're going to see in this portfolio. It's quite edgy and requires a lot of design thinking and thinking about the composition and proportions. So it's usually, I think architects like to default to like a grid layout, but I think this is something that I really appreciate from designers' point of view. It's kind of interesting and kind of fun to look at as well. I love the white space in every single page so far. Looking forward to the rest of it. And oh my god, this is actually so interesting. I like the way the project information is sort of spread out across the screen. So for example, the type is up here, site is up here, project is down here, academic terms and professors are down here. And yeah, like the way the section title is on the left side vertically and then has described in a different typography. And yeah, as you can see, unlike the other previous two portfolios, she has actually went ahead and normalized all the text. So they're actually even throughout, maybe except for the project titles, I guess because they're all caps. But yeah, small things like this. And the fact that, you know, these two fonts are different. There are different kinds of font faces going on depending on the hierarchy of the text. All these little things are signs of professionalism. So I think I really appreciate that. Also like the way she has added the frame around this little party image and it's been cropped. It really makes you look at the image in a different light. So that's really interesting. And yeah, really straightforward. And again, great designs. Don't need to stand out in particular. Yeah, I like the way she starts each project with this thick quote and then followed by the actual project description. And there's a bit of a broken grid layout going on here, so that's pretty interesting. It has been quite well and seamless so far. I didn't quite notice any awkwardness until this specific spread. I don't know what it is. I can't quite put my finger on it, but I suspect that it might be that the spacing is a little too big compared to this one. Okay, I'm being really nitpicky now, but I guess this is the cost of trying something different, and sometimes it doesn't go well. So this is a risk that you have to take on if you're innovating. So still give them points for that one. And actually, maybe the layouts are slightly falling apart. There's a little too much white space, and I think we're starting to miss some details about certain images. For example, I think this particular section has a lot more information than this little entrance view. Maybe this is a part where it could be switched like this, and maybe this is when we know this person doesn't specialize in architecture or doesn't have a formal education in that field, because yeah, I think this sectional image should be more prominent than this one. But yeah, had we switched these guys, maybe it would have been better. So yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting to look at all these different artists, because some people really max out on the graphical elements and other people max out on like actual architectural storytelling. So it's quite interesting. And yeah, you know, even though I really appreciate these interesting layout patterns, like I really don't know if this is working. You know, I think to me it's quite clear that these 5 images are related and need to be a little bit more cohesive. If these 2 guys are broken grid, then maybe these 3 guys should also be broken grid. I think there's something awkward going on this page, but we are right back to looking at a professionally laid out page. So this is really cool. Images might be getting a little too small, but that's fine. At the end of the day, no one's really going to inspect like every detail on your project. So in terms of giving a interesting and professional impression, I think this layout and portfolio does an excellent job. And yeah, I'm actually really enjoying this like broken grid. Every layout's a little bit different, but it doesn't really throw me off. It still feels very comfortable and exciting as I go through every project. So yeah, I really appreciate that. Really don't know what's going on with this image. And I'll quickly skip through the last project. Okay, there. This is... I think they got a little lazy towards the end. I was gonna like give her all the accolades that I could give her, but things are starting to get a little lazy back here. But anyways, they have an end cover. That's a silver lining, and yeah, appreciate that. So for $290, I probably should do more back and forth, give her feedback that I noticed as an architectural designer and negotiate a little bit more to create a better portfolio. But keep in mind that this is the first iteration. All the portfolios that you've seen just now is first iteration. And Fiverr allows you to do comments, and artists can modify the work and give you an iteration. So don't worry too much about that, and just wanted to let you guys know about that part. Okay, so that has been all the work that we have commissioned, and yeah, what you guys think? Do you think the first one provided us with a great value? Was the last one really worth it? Let us know in the description, and yeah, I'm curious to hear what you guys think. And again, if you guys want to try purchasing a Fiverr gig, use the link in the description to get 10% off your first purchase, and we'll appreciate that. That being said, thanks for tuning in guys, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace!